9 o'clock on a Monday morning, June 9th. I'm Jane Monreal. You are watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. It was a pretty muggy one here in the Charlotte area. And so we have several storms lined up for tonight, I believe. That's why we're bringing in meteorologist Chris Mulcahy right now. He is in studio. We had some storms come through off and on over the weekend. I remember seeing some light rain yesterday morning, but it wasn't too bad, Chris.
Nope, not too bad. We had a ton of damage reports in South Carolina before they got to us. And then also even yesterday saw a decent amount of damage reports in the eastern side of the Carolinas, but not for us. So we've been pretty good. And actually, we're kind of dealing with more of a second hand, like it's a hand-me-down storm. So this isn't directly generating during this time frame, which usually tempers our severe expectations. But we're still going weather alert for just the worst case scenario. That's usually how we work here. Which, by the way, before I go any further, Jade, we officially did it. We hit our first 90-degree temperature, so that's done with.
Ooh, all right, got that out of the way at least, right?
Yeah, no, they just didn't want to do it anymore. First off, I was getting disappointed that I would call 90 and it would be 87. But finally, we hit 89 on Friday. It was 91 on Saturday.
Yeah, felt it.
You did feel it, yes.
Yeah, I was out Taste of Charlotte.
Yeah, that was also
Mugging.
Our hottest feeling day, too. We had a peak heat index of 95, which you also felt during the Taste of Charlotte.
Yes.
So here's a look at today's highs. Very similar to what we had on Friday. High temperatures in the upper 80s. Do have a slight heat index. The information to the right of your screen showing 85, feeling like 87 to kick off the afternoon. Also, what you're seeing in the background is a live look over Monroe. Ignore the blurriness on the bottom. I don't know what the camera's doing there, but luckily I covered up with a bunch of boxes. But the blue, that's the important part. That is pretty much what we have for the entirety of this morning. It's usually around 11:30 to 12:30, so literally during our midday and noon show, that you'll start to see these teeny little dots that turn into bigger dots. And what I'm talking about is those fair weather cumulus clouds. I think we start to see that set up, but the end of the day should likely be a mostly, let's call it a partly sunny type of day. So that means about like 60 to 70% cloud cover as we have our next chances of storms to roll in. So our weather impact window, the time that we need you to be weather alert, is between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. Admittedly, Brittany last night had 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. I only extended it a little bit earlier because I was seeing signs of a few storms that I think would definitely be under the weather alert kind of umbrella. And the gusty winds, I think, is number one, dangerous lightning number two, but there's also a chance for an isolated tornado. That threat has gone way down, though. So also last night we had a 2% chance for tornadoes per the Storm Prediction Center. That is not the case for right now. Okay, so we're starting at 6 o'clock. It's the beginning of our window. See these storms just to the south of Shara, the one right around Chester, one close to Shelby. Those are the ones why I opened up our window a little bit earlier, because I think those could be strong enough to cause potential wind damage, maybe a few wet microbursts that come along with that. But watch what happens as we work our way through the evening. If this scenario comes to fruition, I want you to pay a special attention here. Let me bring up a tool that'll help you point it out, because I'm not at a green wall to point it to things. Right here. If you're starting to see this, where you have a little line, a little bowing segment, and then it starts to turn into this, that's the whole reason why we are going weather alert, because this is the worst case scenario that our HRRR is showing, which has been aggressive this season. We'll also say that. That's why I'll show you a different example. But it's whenever you have this is called a bow echo, or as Carlene likes to call it, a little shrimp. Yep. That little shrimp head can bite you, and that's where you have a spin up that potentially could happen along it. Once you get to about 1 o'clock, we're pretty much closing our window. But I'm still going to keep it wide open from about 6 to 2. I usually don't like to do that. I like to keep it 6 hours or less for planning purposes, but we just have so much that's moving through the area at that point. That's where we're keeping it wide open. Also, our tornado parameter moves a little bit. Whenever you see the number move, there's a chance. Whenever you start to see it really move, like up to about 1, then that's a big time tornado threat. We don't really have that, so that's also super low. Check out our rotation tracks. We only have one streak through the area, and that's close to about 11 o'clock to midnight, so we would have the outside chance that that comes to fruition. And as far as how much rain that we're going to see with this, it really just depends where you are, because I think some swaths that we see some heavier rain could have up to an inch when this is all said and done, while others are only seeing less than 0.05 of an inch, so that's also all over the place. place. One more thing that I want to show you, and let's see where this is. So I'm all out of order since I came over here. When we do the stream, I'm just clicking on things, and then I was like, what the heck were you doing,
Oh,
Chris?
yeah. Take your time here.
So you're 68 hours. So I'm essentially showing you what I just showed you, but this is the other model that likes to update every hour, the one that I trust more. H&R and I have had some battles on and off. This one has been the most trustworthy. One thing that does align is we have a chance for those isolated clusters of thunderstorms earlier on in the afternoon. That's right around 6 o'clock. Same thing. And then once you get to about the 8 to midnight range, we're having the leftovers of these systems that are coming from the southwest. This one has the rain arriving a little bit later on, but I truly think after 2 o'clock, a lot of the energy is spent. There's the slightest chance that we're talking about a severe thunderstorm after 2, but rain could still be around, especially east of I-77. And then we move on to our next measly wimpy rain chance. This is a cold front that pushes through. It's actually going to be a really humid day for your Tuesday, but you have the slightest chance there could be some storms that bubble up right along that front. 1 to 5 is my window there. Not anything severe, not weather alert, just general chance for thunderstorms. And then after that, actually things are trending in a good direction. As far as the mugginess goes, oftentimes during the afternoon, those values will actually come down a little bit, and that's exactly what's happening today. And then we start to see it ramp back up close to about that 70 range thereafter. That's where it doesn't feel great. And if I were to pick my pick of the week, as of right now, it's Wednesday. So,
okay.
Bow, 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 bow. All right, so the reason why we're doing that is Wednesday, 1, looks like the only day without a chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. 2, it also seems the most comfortable day going forward. It'll have some decent lows as well, and you will see temperatures start to warm back up associated with it. But check it out, our 7-day forecast, we're 85 Tuesday, but Wednesday still 87, not overly humid, and then after that you have at least a 20 to 40% chance, and that's an isolated to scattered thunderstorm chance Thursday through this coming weekend. So officially just decided, I didn't mention it today because it was too much to talk about, but Wednesday is my pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Final answer.
Okay. All right. Final answer. Today, I like the half blue, the half red.
Yes.
Because you might have intense.
Well, and that's one of the worst things in the downfall. And like we're evolving with this. When we say weather alert day, it can be misleading just because that's our branding. That it doesn't mean that hey, it's going to happen all day or it's going to happen during the day. The day that we think about is 24 hours, midnight to midnight. So at any point, if there is a chance or a window for severe storms, it's still a weather alert day. It just we like to narrow it down. But in this case, absolutely, you have nothing to worry about now really until the late afternoon. It's really after 6 o'clock that I think we have anything that could be an issue as far as really an impactful storm.
Yeah, it actually feels pretty decent out right now.
Yeah, no, it's less humid than this weekend already, so that's good. It will come back up tomorrow before coming back down before we do June for the rest of June.
Exactly.
The way things it seems.
Settle in for the dog days of summer. You went to Savannah Bananas over the weekend.
I did.
Was it kind of sweltering, but it was fun?
Yeah, it was rough humidity wise. Also, the line you have to do to get in if you don't come way earlier like everyone else just shows about how big this event is.
Yeah, huge.
Not to sneeze on the Panthers' performance or their attendance, but
Achoo.
wow. You talk about a turnout, and I believe that they broke a record as far as the biggest stadium crowds for the Banana Ball, so glad that Charlotte owns up for now. But no, it was wildly entertainment, and there's a lot of respect for them to turn around something like that because the owner of this at one point was doing things in Gastonia.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Grow?
Oh wow,
Like that?
No, he
Fantastic.
found something, but then it's not just about money and success. The joy that was brought to all ages. Like literally there was one girl that was on the field that was dancing where everyone in the crowd had to dance like she was. So seeing her joy to proposals after the game on Friday. It just was really nice to see so many people having fun.
Yeah.
And that's what Banana Ball is really all about.
That's why they sell out.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
beating the party
animals. Good energy all around. Chris Mulcahy continuing that vibe into this Monday morning as we are looking at maybe some. Did you just dab?
I was doing
Oh, the hula. All right. All
But I
right.
could.
I'll give you the dab.
You know?
All right, Chris Mulcahy bringing us some good, some bad, something to be alert.
Something in between.
All right, that's what he does. Thank you so much. We'll see you a little bit later here.
Bye.